Right now at 5:30, a Boyle County mother's in jail this morning. Police say they found her passed out, surrounded by drugs and her young children in the home.
Also on WKYT this morning, 2 of 4 people accused of killing a man in Clark County last week are set to face a judge later today. We'll have the latest on the case against them.
And the search for a man accused of shooting a woman in Pulaski County is still on. We'll have more on that search coming up in a live report.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. It is Monday morning, May 18th. We hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. May just keeps rolling along.
It does. It'll be June before you know it, right?
Captain Obvious over here.
Yeah,
but, you know, hopefully the rest of May will be nice, Micah. Not too hot, not too cool.
It looks like
perfect.
a good day for the primary tomorrow.
Well, that's true. Yeah. That's absolutely true. So you have zero excuse to get out there and vote. What we're going to be looking at is a front making its way through. The rest of this week, as Rebecca was talking about, man, it looks good. We just got to get through today. Today is your showers and thunderstorms again. This is about a third or fourth consecutive day, but it's very spotty. Not everybody sees this rain. Some of us pick up tremendous amounts. Some of us do not outside right now. You can see it's pretty calm, quiet, a couple of sprinkles. Temperatures in the 60s. You will not need a coat today. Walking outside or toward the afternoon at 79 degrees, you need an umbrella. Scattered showers and storms in the forecast. Your pet pick, didn't mean to fast forward to it again, but we're going to go over it again. There's Bella Beasley. I'll have your latest forecast coming up.
Well, Bella's so cute. She just needs to be seen.
Just bring Bella back. All right, good one. Thank you. Let's get to the news.
Well, police tell us he's armed and dangerous and still on the run. Pulaski County Sheriff's deputies are looking for a man they say was involved in a weekend shooting.
That man, identified as 55-year-old Mark Showalter, the victim in that shooting, is still recovering at UK Hospital. WKYT's Mark Barber is live from the hospital. Mark, what do we know about how the woman is doing this morning, the victim there?
Good morning, Bill. We called the hospital overnight to check on her, but we're told that an update on her condition is not available. However, we do know that when she was rushed here yesterday, she was in critical condition. Investigators say that they found the woman suffering from a gunshot wound to the head in a home off of Highway 452 in Pulaski County yesterday morning. Deputies tell us when they pulled up to the house, Mark and Timothy Showalter took off in a blue truck. Timothy Showalter was arrested after deputies say they found him at his home in Somerset. The 34-year-old will be arraigned this morning on charges of burglary and complicity to commit assault. According to deputies, the second suspect in the shooting, 55-year-old Mark Showalter, is still on the run. Neighbors tell us they're hoping for justice.
Everybody kind of knows each other. That's why we live out here. People like that don't deserve to be walking the streets with the rest of us, period. You know, you put them in prison, that's where they belong.
Officials tell us Mark Showalter is armed and dangerous. They're now hoping that a tip from anybody with information will help them make an arrest. He is described as standing about 5 feet 10 inches tall, weighing 200 pounds. I'm told he has blue eyes, gray hair, and a beard. Again, officials are asking anyone with information to call them. Live in Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, thanks so much, Mark. A Boyle County mother's in jail this morning, accused of having drugs in her home with her young children inside that same house. Danville police arrested 32-year-old Tiandra Miller on Saturday after a welfare check. They found her passed out in the living room, surrounded by bags of cocaine, scales, and marijuana. Officers tell us the woman's 12-year-old son was the one who called police. Folks in the neighborhood are horrified that Miller would put her kids in such a situation.
It's sad because you drive by and you see like kids' toys and stuff out there. This is a really nice, well-established neighborhood. I didn't think anything like that was going on here.
Well, Miller's 3 kids are now staying with relatives. We asked her on Sunday if she'd like to tell us her side of the story. She did not.
New this morning, state police are investigating a crash in Montgomery County that sent 2 people to the hospital. Troopers say just before 10 last night, Steve Edens of Lexington was driving his car along I-64 around Owingsville when he lost control of the vehicle. He crossed a median and it crashed into a rock embankment. Police say he was taken to St. Joseph Hospital, Mount Sterling, and was stabilized there. His passenger, Jamie Edens, was airlifted out to UK Hospital. Troopers say she is in critical condition.
Today we hope to learn some more about what led up to the murder of a Madison County man. 2
of the 4 people charged with shooting and killing Roy Combs last week in Clark County are set to make their first court appearance in the case. WKYT's Hillary Thornton is live from Clark County District Court. Hillary, good morning.
Good morning. 46-year-old Don Attaway was the first arrest made in that case. Today, he, along with Christy Mattingly, will make their first court appearance here in Clark County facing those charges. Attaway's arrest came after police found the body of Roy Combs near a rock quarry as a result of what investigators say they believe was a planned shooting. Following Attaway's arrest, police searched for 3 more suspects, eventually arresting Kurt Garrett, Christopher Coleman, and Christy Mattingly. Kentucky State Police say all 4 were involved in the shooting death of Combs. The suspects are all from Richmond. However, police had to track down Garrett and Coleman outside of the state, with their arrests being made in Columbus, Ohio. Now, at last check, those 2 men who were arrested in Ohio have not been booked here in Clark County yet. Mattingly and Attaway are scheduled for arraignment at 9 o'clock this morning here in Clark County. Live in Clark County, Hillary Thornton, WKYT.
All right, Hillary, thank you very much for the update. Now, in news from across the nation this morning, we're tracking a developing story out of Texas. At least 9 people are dead after a shootout between rival biker gangs in Waco.
18 other people were injured when the gangs opened fire on one another at a restaurant. Police officers say they had gathered enough intelligence over several months to know the gangs would be there yesterday. However, they say the fight escalated too quickly to immediately contain.
It started in the bathroom with most likely a push or a shove or somebody looking at somebody wrong.
Well, police say they had problems before at this particular Twin Peaks restaurant involving fighting biker gangs. Officers say they got several reports of other out-of-state bikers headed to Texas to join in the fight, but they promised to arrest any of them that cause an issue.
In the Northeast, Amtrak is planning to open up its Northeast Corridor today following last week's deadly train derailment. 8 people died, more than 200 others were injured when the train crashed in Philadelphia. The National Transportation Safety Board is looking into some marks left on the windshield. They think the train may have been hit by something, maybe even a bullet, right before the crash. The first train is set to leave Philadelphia just before 6 o'clock this morning, just a few minutes from now.
Well, he first made headlines last year after he was left in a coma from a bad crash in Indiana. And now, just a few months after coming out of that coma, a Knott County teenager is recovering. Alex Wentz's car crashed into another in Jeffersonville, Indiana on November 16th last year. That crash left him in a coma for months until he finally opened his eyes in February. Now, his family says that his improvements are exceeding all expectations, especially since he's regained memories.
What was your first memory when you came out of that coma?
Being in the hospital with my girlfriend and giving her a kiss. And then we went downstairs and got something to eat.
Well, it's good to see that he is recovering. Alex's treatment still requires regular visits to medical facilities in Louisville. He says after his experience, he wants to become a doctor someday in order to help others.
Well, it's good to see him doing better. Our time this morning is 5:38. A nonprofit is the victim of a break-in and a big theft. Georgetown police say last week someone broke into the office of Old Friends Farm and stole hundreds of dollars and electronics. Now people are stepping in to help out the Thoroughbred Retirement Farm. Donations have been pouring in.
When I was at the Preakness yesterday, in the middle of the whole thing, a guy came up and gave me $300 in cash because he heard about the break-in.
The president of the farm is hopeful that an arrest will be made soon. Tomorrow, the polls will open at 6 o'clock in the morning, and Kentuckians will be deciding the partisan nominees for the fall race for governor. After weeks of campaigning, polls show the Republican primary pretty much a toss-up. Our last WKYT Herald Leader Bluegrass poll from last week shows Republican candidates Matt Bevin, James Comer, and Hal Heiner all within a percentage point of each other. And Democratic candidate Jack Conway, the clear front-runner on the Democratic side, leads all Republican contenders at this point. You can keep up with our coverage of Election Day on air and on the web throughout the day tomorrow, and make sure to follow us for all of the latest updates.
Weeks later, part of a Clark County road is still shut down after storms caused quite a bit of damage. A portion of 4 Mile Road sank almost 4 feet. Emergency management crews originally thought it would cost the county $300,000 to fix, but thanks to federal aid, the cost will be lower.
It's 75% federal money to help with these disasters, and then 12% of state money and 13% of local money. So obviously it makes it easier for us to repair these things. So we don't have the money in their county budgets. Most counties don't, most cities don't, to do these kind of repairs.
Good to see they're getting a little bit of help. Epperson says in order to reinforce the road, more expensive steel bars are needed. Repairs to the road should take 2 to 3 months to complete once federal aid kicks in. Well, 2 23-story dorms on UK's campus will be empty this fall semester. The university is planning to either renovate or demolish the Kerwin and Blanding towers. Closing those residence halls means the number of low-cost housing options for students will go down. The 2 buildings were the only remaining dorms that cost less than $3 grand per semester. A university spokesperson says demolishing or renovating them will cost more than $10 million.
Those dorms are intriguing to people. That's our most viewed story right now on WKYT.com.
I was intrigued, when I saw the story. I didn't go to UK, but I'm sure anybody who did or, is going there now is very interested in knowing about those dorms.
And it will be interesting to see what they do. Eastern renovated a large tower over there into offices. So maybe that's a way to go.
And there's a trend towards those more high-end luxury dormitories.
Yeah, certainly over in UK especially. 5:41 on WKYT this morning. And let's check live drive traffic and see what is going on. Here's a look right now at Broadway and High Street. It is certainly quiet there at the moment as we await the early morning travelers. No reports of any major problems out there anywhere.
No, it's looking pretty good. Just keep in mind that there's some long-term construction projects going on around town, so just operate with a little more patience.
There you go. Looks like the Lextran bus is already on the move.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, good eye this morning, Bill.
That and my stomach growling. I saw you look over here.
Yeah, we can't ignore the elephant in the room, okay?
A little hungry
it's in his
this morning. All right. More news coming up Monday here on WKYT, and it's so good to have you with us.
Well, some baseball fans in St. Louis set a new world record this weekend. It was a little self-centered. We'll tell you why after Micah, his weather report.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't look that good for today. Scattered showers and thunderstorms again today. But once we pass today, once that front moves through, it looks phenomenal. I have that forecast and show you how low those temperatures go coming up.